It appears that Donald Trump might have finally lost Alex Jones for good. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, on Sunday, the InfoWars host and conspiracy theorist went on a rampage after Donald Trump encouraged his followers to get vaccinated against COVID-19. I know, right? What a big transgression here, telling your followers, I don't want you to die. Which is strangely out of character for Donald Trump, because normally he doesn't care about that stuff. I guess maybe they need him, or he needs them, for, more donations. I don't know what it is. All right, well, sure. So now this follows a rally in Coleman, Alabama, where the former president was booed for actually encouraging his followers to go on that and get the COVID-19 vaccination. So I want to show you Alex Jones' reaction to this. Let's watch.
You got lied to, Trump. It didn't have 98% efficacy. We knew day one it wouldn't work, period. It's a fraud. It'll create mutants. You got chumped. You got signed on to a fraud to restart the economy. I understand why you did it. You believe in science. Except these are bad actors, sir. You believed America could produce a good vaccine. Of course they could have. They didn't want to. They didn't create a vaccine. They created a Frankenstein. And now they've got you signed up to it. Now the left's saying you better get out there and push it, and you are. CNN comes out and says, we need to see Trump come out and tell people to take the shots. And within weeks of them saying it over and over again, CNN snaps their fingers, Jeff Zucker snaps his fingers, and Trump clicks his heels and hops up there at attention and says, how high do you want me to jump, boss?
All right, let me just say, I kind of miss this guy. Nobody pulls off an unhinged rant quite like Alex Jones, and does it in a way that is extremely entertaining. Of course, he's full of shit, but that's part of the game. That's part of the shtick. And so he talks about the mutants. There's mutants everywhere. All right, well, I already got vaccinated. Where the hell is my mutant powers? I want mutant powers. Like, I'm still not magnetic. I can't control magnets. I got no 5G tracking abilities. I don't glow in the dark. I'm feeling a little bit robbed here. I was promised mutant powers. All right, I was promised magnetism. What happened? I was hoping for something awesome, but all I got was just a reduced chance of hospitalization and death from COVID-19. Robbed. It's almost as if Alex Jones was just spreading dangerous disinformation about the vaccine and COVID-19. Weird. But he did touch on something that was sort of interesting here. And if you weren't listening closely, you might have missed it because, talking about the mutants and everything. But here's what he said. You signed on to a fraud to restart the economy. Projection 101. Here's the thing. The economy is the number one reason Republicans want to send kids back to school, even while the Delta variant is tearing through certain parts of the country that are largely unvaccinated and getting even young children sick. So now you have increased numbers of children getting sick with COVID-19 with visible symptoms and hospitalized. Now, of course, the share, is still lower than adults who are unvaccinated that end up facing serious illness, but it is rising among children. And that is very concerning, especially since a lot of places are starting school or have started school already. And in a lot of places, Republican governors are saying no to mask mandates when it comes to school. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis is a great example of that. But the thinking here is, to go along with what Alex was saying, is that if the kids are in school, the parents can go back to work in the office, in person, and I understand that that's actually why both parties are pushing to get the kids back in school. It's just the Republicans are saying, no mask mandates, nothing like that, no to keeping our kids safe, just send it back anyway. They want to make sure that the kids who go back to school are not protected at all. So, there's a difference. And we find out, of course, there's a reason why. Ron DeSantis just happens to have donors that are heavily invested in Regeneron and was actually pushing Regeneron. So it is projection. In reality, of course, we all know the capitalists do want those kids back in school, parents back to work, the economy restarted in lieu of actual safety. And if you do care about safety, in places where the Delta variant is surging amongst the unvaccinated, you should definitely have mask mandates, or barring that, not let the kids back in school until they're able to get vaccinated. And that's why, understand, a lot of conservatives throughout, Republicans, especially during the early stage of the pandemic, first tried to argue that sacrificing grandma to the almighty stonks is something that she'd approve of, which she didn't. Yeah, I know some conservatives are like, I would gladly die for the economy to reopen so that rich people can get richer. Okay, well, you first. And then, of course, when things got real bad, they decided to push fake cures towards understandably desperate people. Now, at the time, before we had vaccines, yeah, I understand like people trying to go and find as many of the possible protections against COVID-19 that they thought might work. Again, we're dealing with like very desperate people who are influenced by mainly right-wingers pushing disinformation. All right, people like Donald Trump and others that might actually have some investments in some of these things, right? And some of these things that may have even shown some positive studies beforehand, or maybe some positive, like, oh, we have results here, but then upon further examination, it turns out it causes more problems than it actually solves. And we have seen that with numerous cures, but now, or supposed cures, but now we have a vaccine and it generally works. And yet, here's the new narrative. No, we can't do the vaccine. We've got to go and do these alternative cures. And so it's a pretty interesting slip or admission, and maybe he didn't expect anybody to kind of read into that. But hey, I've got more on that video. Let's keep going.
BS. Trump, that's a lie. You're not stupid. Just 2 weeks ago, they said it was 65%, then 40%. Saw a number put up about Pfizer shots, 30-some%. Because they just want to tell you it doesn't work, so you're running at the new damn shot. And then they'll tell you in 6 months that one doesn't work. It's called rope-a-dope. Shame on you, Trump. Seriously. Hey, if you don't have the good sense to save yourself, your political career, that's okay. At least you're going to get some good Republicans elected. And, we like you. But my God, maybe you're not that bright. Maybe Trump's actually a dumbass.
Maybe he's a dumbass. Maybe. Have you been paying attention at all? And no, Trump's one of the dumbest people in America, and we've proved it over and over again. But Alex Jones knows that. But at least on the vaccines, he's actually taking this, taking the initiative to say, well, you should probably get vaccinated. I mean, until you boo me, and then I'm going to say, well, freedom. But doing that, at least try to put out that message that, hey, I took the vaccine, you probably should too, because it does work. Well, it's one of the smartest things Donald Trump has actually done. And I wish he would have done it sooner. But a lot of what Alex Jones said, by the way, when he was, rattling off efficacy claims, is the fact that the vaccine is effective at making sure that if you get sick, you're way less likely to end up in the hospital, right? That's counter to what Alex Jones had been saying. Oh, the efficacy, 95%, blah, 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 right? Or 65 or 40%. Here's the thing. He does that kind of stuff to confuse people. When you cherry pick data, that serves to confuse people and think, well, if it's not as effective as they say, then why should I take it? But again, the fact is, you're just less likely to get sick. And if you do, it's less likely to be serious. You're way less likely to end up in a hospital, end up on a ventilator, or dead when you have a breakthrough case, because there are and will continue to be breakthrough cases. And we've known this the whole time. We've known this the whole time. Okay, breakthrough cases, they do happen, and the only thing here is the people who have those are much less likely to be hospitalized or die from those breakthrough cases. Vaccines never meant that you can't actually not get the virus. You are less likely to get the virus, or less likely to show symptomatic illness from the virus, because the body, thanks to the vaccine, learns how to fight off the illness. Jones and people like him understand that they rely on people being ignorant of how vaccines work in order to sell their own miracle cures or supplements that are, and here's the irony about that are not FDA approved. Now, the reason that I point to that, of course, is here you have a lot of people on the right that are saying, well, not FDA approved, not FDA approved. Well, now it is. Now it is. But the supplements that you're taking are not FDA approved. Or even if they are in certain circumstances, they're still not approved for use for COVID-19. And so, yes, vaccines are not cures. Vaccines are protection. Just like masks, vaccines are a way to protect yourself from getting seriously ill and going into the hospital and or dying. And so, but again, there are people out there that are pushing this disinformation in order to basically do their own thing. And Alex Jones, I mean, he sells his own supplements. One more thing. Jones also accidentally made an interesting point that being pro-vaccine in today's Republican Party is basically no bueno. You are persona non grata if you take or promote this vaccine. If you want to save your political career, and this is Alex Jones thinking, if you want to save your political career that I've coattailed off and made millions of dollars from, well, then stop promoting the vaccines. This is a good grift we've got going, and I really like you, but stop doing the thing that hurts my business interests, which is, of course, literally selling bullshit. Because he sells these ridiculous supplements that don't work. Jones is nothing but an actor, a businessman, a snake oil salesman / carnival barker. And he has admitted that over and over. In fact, I have one more video for you, and this is from earlier this year. Well, it came out earlier this year of an older interview back in 2019 where Alex Jones basically admits that he never really liked Donald Trump, never really cared for him. Take a look.
Part of me, the selfish part, wishes I'd never met Donald Trump, wishes that I'd never met Roger Stone, because it's the truth, and I'm just going to say it, that I wish I never would have fucking met Trump. I wish it never would have happened. And it's not that the attacks that I've been through. I'm so sick of fucking Donald Trump, man. God, I'm fucking sick of him. But I'm not doing this because it's like I'm kissing his fucking ass, you know? It's just like I'm sick of it.
That's about the most real Alex Jones has ever been. Don't listen to this guy. He's just trying to sell you something. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.